I would like to say that I'm a son of God, so it's actually very, very important to me to participate in activities like this. And I often kid the supervisor, who I've known for a long time, that he is my mother's favorite politician. So you can't ask for much better endorsement than that. As has been talked about, we were asked to take a look at a much wider envelope than just the medical center, take a look at the larger community, because of the notion that has been talked about here, that the hospital and the delivery of health care is an economic engine. And you were given reference about how it works in other parts of the county. There's no reason why it can't work here, and it should work here. Okay? So the supervisor spoke about who owns what. You can see the level of control by the public sector is significant in this. In any real estate development activity, ownership of the land to get people to the table to talk about possibilities is one of the first hurdles that you need to overcome. That's not a significant hurdle in this location. There is control. We know who everybody that owns the land, and there is a vested interest that can be served by all this. Next slide. Strategically, we decided to take a look at the entire site, or what I'm going to call the impact area, and look at what's going on there today, and then try to understand what uses could we try and identify in specific locations, and that drove us to this zoning strategy. So you'll see Zone 1, which has been referred to as the medical zone. This is where the existing campus is, that has been there, God, since I was a kid, before they tore down the public housing that was there. Okay? Our second zone is a educational and research zone. Again, another asset that already exists. The third zone is what we, in ULI parlance, call the gateway, or kind of retail or mixed-use zone. So, in as much as you look at the entire area, there are three different things that can be going on simultaneously to change the characteristics of the community. And all of these three areas, if they reach their potential and are interconnected, will give you a sense of you've arrived. You know where you are. The Martin Luther King Medical Complex and the Watts Willowbrook community will have a much improved identity. Next slide. So we sat in a room, we interviewed people, we talked about what we were asked to do, what kind of thoughtful response could we deliver, and one of the things on the to-do list was to come back with a conceptual site plan. What this is just like it says, it's a concept. This was, after 2 days, our best thinking of how to proceed with an idea. This doesn't mean this is actually what you all will decide will happen, but it is our best thinking to say, think about these as an activity, and you can see the characteristics are very different than if you kind of go back, we went back a couple of slides, we saw the area. We're talking about these land use issues that will become economic engines. You can see the transit station and the existing shopping center. There's an opportunity to make a big improvement there. The reconfiguration of the medical campus. We've already talked about buildings that are going to go under construction, and there are money that's going to be invested. There's additional opportunities to do things there. The research educational campus right now, you can see the idea of tying this all together and the greening elements that are involved with a healthy community. So, green space. Removing asphalt islands. These are key components in how you have a healthy community. We also had the notion that if you look at the final report, that this could be community gardens. There's a lot of detail in the next few slides. I'll summarize. We saw that there were challenges and opportunities in each one of the zones that we have identified. So on the medical campus, the discussion about seismic deficient buildings, replacing those, that's a challenge. The financial implications are a challenge, but you can already see that there's been work done in terms of how you start to fund the changes that you want to accomplish. And then we look at opportunities. And I would say in summary, we're really talking about one of the 30,000 feet view is how do you replace and revision the entire community built around a dynamic healthcare delivery system is really what I would say you take away from this first zone. Education and research. For those of you who are here, you know this building is an example of the high-quality education and research opportunities that reside in the community today. How do we make them more attractive, more inviting in terms of adding green space? There is a significant amount of what you call underutilized land in the community. How do we increase density, create more vibrancy, opportunities? How do you create joint ventures between the schools, the parks, the medical campus? Get everybody on the same page to have integration all around education and research. Next slide. The gateway zone. We have what you would characterize today as an underperforming shopping center, and for those of you who live here, you can really appreciate that. We think the access as it exists today for transit could be improved, and that's a challenge, but you'll hear about a solution that's being worked on there. Another thing that we thought was important is there is a lack of, what's the front door to this whole environment? When you are there, how do you know you're there? Opportunities, the shopping center is on the market. A forward-thinking entrepreneurial person with vision could think about acquiring a shopping center and repositioning it around some of the ideas that we've talked about. I'm sure the county is willing to try to induce, thoughtful entrepreneurship in this case to support economic development. Again, creating this gateway that the university and the medical campus are significant amenities in this community. And how do you create a sense of what's often talked about a live, work, and play in communities? That's an opportunity. Los Angeles, as it continues to grow, mixed uses are going to be things and opportunities that continue to present themselves, and how you get activities that you normally wouldn't think should come together, have to come together to leverage themselves. So library, learning centers, clinics, fitness centers, this could all be incorporated in the notion of the community wellness and facilities. Transit-oriented developed housing is another opportunity that's available here. Next slide. Finally, how do you get there? Nothing happens without leadership. I think it's safe to say we have dynamic, visionary leadership moving this ball, and I think it's all incumbent upon you as stakeholders to get involved. The branding of the three zones as a model of healthy communities. This community has been characterized as a lot of things. I think this is an opportunity to recharacterize the community around a healthy community that is headed in the right direction, and to, I think, capitalize on some of the things that were mentioned by Dr. Ross in terms of how do you go from worst to first. That's the message that we want to have and the goal that is for the future. You can't get any place without a plan, and we think you need to have a comprehensive plan that ties everybody working together. That's how we arrived at this. And again, this is the big idea. Things in here may change. You may have some ideas that could be delivered to the supervisor's office that are beneficial. So this is what the Urban Land Institute does. I am, again, proud to have had an opportunity to provide my input as a resident and as I said, a son of Watts. This is important stuff, and we can solve these problems if we all work together.